Greetings and good evening, and welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, October the 10th, 2025. Bonsoir, comment ça va? I'm Drew, and welcome to Week 6 and Week 7 of the National Football League and the NCAA. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some big games this weekend. We got rivalry weekend for a lot of college football teams, and we got Separation Sunday Part 2 for the National Football League. And we're going to talk about each and every single one of those games. We're going to do a deep dive, provide some in-depth behind the curtain analysis as to why we believe that Team A is going to knock out Team B and begin to set themselves up for future success either in the NCAA as well as in the National Football League. So again, welcome to Week 6 of the NFL, Week 7 of the NCAA, the heart and meat and potatoes of each one of these big season games is happening this weekend. And I cannot wait to talk about it with my brother Griff over the next F number of hours or minutes here before you have to get out there and take care of some business yourself. How are we doing today, sir?
Hey man, I'm just glad to be here, brother. I mean, it's been a long day traveling, trying to get here to this wedding, man. But I said I had to jump on there because it's some football that needed to be discussed before I go to this wedding. So
Yeah,
let's get into it.
let's get into it, man. I know you pressed for time. Man, the NFL treated us to a phenomenal Thursday night game last night where the defending Super Bowl champions traveled right up the street to Jersey to take on their arch rival, the New York Football Giants, where everybody in the world who is a football fan honestly believed that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to use this game as what? A get right game. Going against a 1-4 Giants team, right? Coming off of a fresh L that they took last weekend down there in NOLA. Everyone in the sports world were banking on the Eagles to fix whatever was ailing them the first month of the season offensively because we all know the 2024 Eagles are no longer the 2025 Eagles are still trying to find their identity, and they have not yet done so. Last night was an abysmal display of that offense. Now, I'm a big proponent in the Al Davis approach, Griff, of just win, baby. And that's what Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have done thus far this year. But at the same time, the point differential, which is one of the stats that is kept across the NFL, you're a 4-1 team, but you've actually given up more points than you scored, which is not good. It does not lead to future success. What happened to the Eagles? Is this a long-term problem that we're looking at for the Philadelphia Eagles offense, or is this that one-off game that, hey, that division rival just knows us, they got lucky, we got caught with our pants down, so to speak, and we can fix what is ailing us? Do the Eagles have a bigger problem?
I would say that the Eagles gonna be okay. Yes, they got beat last night, but like we was talking about in the green room, you know, it's a lot of missing pieces on the Eagles right now, and across the league, people got injuries. But here's the thing: these injuries for the Eagles are coming at the right time because they'll still make it to the playoffs, and a lot of these people come back around about the time that they need. You got to think the offensive line was missing key people, the defensive line, Carter. The Kobe Dean Mitchell. It's a lot of people that was missing, man. I don't like the offensive play calling, and maybe the offensive coordinator is taking in consideration that he's missing key people. But I think the Eagles are going to be okay. Yes, they got their butt handed to them last night. The way Scatterboo and Jackson Dart seems like we talk about him, but he looked like a seasoned vet. But it's different when you playing at home too. That was the other edge that they had. They was at home, and the Eagles gonna be okay though.
Okay, I can give you that. I would not be so quick to dismiss this L as just saying, hey, the Giants are much improved. We've seen what they've done here over the past few games, right? And they've shown that they have something with young Jackson Dart, even with Malik Neighbors going down. So the Giants overperformed for me. I believe this game was going to be a closer game, but I believe that the world champs were going to
Yeah.
use this game to fix at least a major part of their offensive philosophy, which is the running game. And they haven't been able to do that for 6 games now. There is a problem.
Missing key people.
They are missing key people, but there is a problem with the offensive philosophy. When you're on the 5 yard line and you talk about using the tush push 4 straight plays, that tells me that we are limited in our offensive play calling within the red zone. You don't have enough confidence in everything else because you're not clicking. The Eagles got bigger problems than what I would have dismissed 2 short weeks ago. But we'll see how they recover next week. Now, heading into the weekend, my man, we got some
Okay.
huge We got some huge games on the calendar, and nothing more bigger for me than the Sunday night game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, number one offense in the National Football League. Everybody believes that they are back in Detroit form as they were in 2024, that 15-2 type of offense, where after taking that opening game loss against the Packers, they've gone through their schedule, averaging 30, 40 plus points, hanging big numbers on everyone. But for the life of me, I don't understand why the Chiefs are favored this weekend, but they are. I get it. They are at home. These are not the 2021, 22, 23, even 2024 Chiefs, where you going into Arrowhead, you can automatically assume that you're going to take an L. I don't believe the Chiefs are that good to be able to defend home field this way, but they're favored at home. Can you explain to me why, and what will it take for those Lions to go in there and get that dub?
The Lions just gonna keep on playing the way they've been playing. The only reason why people get it because they still thinking about the Chiefs that won those Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
You think about just how Cowboy fans look at the Cowboys that won Super Bowls in '90s. Man, they living in the past. I'm just saying, just like Saints fans remember the Saints that won that won this claim, I would say, Super Bowl, that anomaly that'll never happen again in our lifetime. But I just don't see that the Chiefs don't have what it take to beat the Lions, and they haven't proved that to me this year. They don't have the offensive or the defensive power. I mean, the last game that the Chiefs played that they lost, when you seen the Chris Jones giving up on plays and stuff like that, I don't. They ain't gonna have that opportunity against these Lions because this offense that the Lions got is high power. Yes, they took an L in the first game, but just like you said, they've been running on high octane ever since, and I just don't see the Chiefs being able to compete with this offense.
Whether or not the Chiefs are able to compete with that offense point for point, you may have a point there, but the Chris Jones incident on that final scoring play by Trevor Lawrence, I initially, looking at it from a defensive lineman's perspective, I block, I see the quarterback on his backside, automatically assume the play might be dead. I see him attempt to get back up, fall back down. I'm assuming somebody might have touched him. I got it when he got up and ran around. He understood at that particular point there was nothing that he could physically do to stop Trevor Lawrence in any way. Now, I get it. Chris Jones is one of the top defensive tackles in the National Football League, and nobody believes that he intentionally took a play off. I just believe that he got fooled thinking that Trevor Lawrence might have been downed by contact, so to speak.
You think so? So let me throw this at you.
But I got it. You play to
What
the
what
whistle. You play to the whistle.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What was we taught playing? I don't that thinking. See, now you putting yourself inside his head and saying what he was thinking. Well, I know he should have been thinking that the whistle wasn't blown yet, and I keep on playing until the whistle is blown. He been taught that since little league football, so I ain't trying to hit it. You can make an excuse for him.
I'm
Hey,
not making an excuse for him. I'm not making an excuse for that Mississippi State Bulldog. No, Chris Jones, hey, whatever happened, it happened. I think Trevor Lawrence will still have been either very close to the end zone or would have gotten in the end zone, whether or not Chris
yeah,
Jones had attempted to do that. Now, whether or not this game is an actual winnable game for the Kansas City Chiefs, yes, of course it's a winnable game because they're the Kansas City Chiefs. Let us not forget who is the quarterback. Worthy is back. And the way that the Jacksonville Jaguars played inspired comeback football last Monday night exposed the Kansas City Chiefs defense. But we know Spags likes to bring pressure. We know that your guy, the best game manager in the history of the National Football League, who has yet to win a Super Bowl, Jared Goff, does get happy feet when pressure is bought. Now, it all depends on how good the offensive line is going to be, because Gibbs and Montgomery are going to get theirs, right? Because the Kansas City defense is not a run stop defense anymore, and one, they are not fast enough to stop Gibbs and Montgomery. And if Goff is given the amount of time that he would need to get to the Williams and those deep threats, Detroit should win this game comfortably by double digits. They should.
Yeah, yeah. I just
But
think the
there's
two
always
players
the
that
12th man. There's always
the
the
two
12th
players,
man.
yeah, you're right, man. That being at home, but them two players that you just said is the factor to me. Because if Montgomery and Gibbs have a good game, you don't have to put the game on Worthy. I mean, on Golf. Golf
Mhm.
won't be an issue. If Montgomery and Gibbs is having a good, unlike some of these other teams, they keep feeding. They run. If they run the backs is doing good, they keep feeding them jokers. They figure out where to keep on putting the ball in their hand.
I feel you, man. Hey, special shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for all for joining us tonight once again on Facebook Live, TikTok Live, and on YouTube. Continue to provide your commentary. We the North, Fred, I know, always represent. Always represent.
Hey, have you seen Fred in his Giants? And go to his page. Fred is on the
No,
motorcycle with his Giants jersey on.
Fred, you a G-Man fan? Fred, how in the world can you be Fly Eagles Fly and a G-Man? Come
Easy.
on.
It's
God.
called photo. It's called Photoshop. He can do it easy.
Hey. Fred, just like Smokey. I'll be quiet. But when he
Yeah.
leaves, I'll be talking again. I
But
feel you.
yeah, I got Detroit. I got Detroit in this game, Drew.
I feel you. As do I. As do I. But I would not be surprised. This is going to be my upset of the week if it happens.
Okay.
I'm on record saying that if it happens and they legitimately win, not being helped by the stripes, not being helped by some fugazi calls, not being helped by some mysteriously confusing and inconspicuous catches that may not turn out to be catches or turnovers. If they legitimately win this game, this will be a huge upset to me. This will be my upset of the week. All right, let us move on to the next big game of the weekend. Two surprising 5-1 teams, or 4-1 teams, or whatever their records are. The 49ers with Matt Jones, 3-0. 3-0, Matt Jones. Taking the 49ers, going down to Tampa to take on a 5-1 Tampa Bay team or a 4-1 Tampa Bay team that is the comeback kids of the 2025 season. The cardiac kids, we just never say quit. Play all 60 minutes. It seems like they're getting better. They put up 48 points against a very good Seattle team last week. They're coming home. Can San Francisco travel from the left coast and do me a favor, or will Baker actually hang another dub on the Buccaneer warship?
Man, I like what both of these teams have done this year. I think they both overperforming. I don't think we expected this from neither one of these teams, especially the 49ers with the injuries and all the people that they let go from that squad. But I'm going with the Buccaneers only because they playing at home. That's the only reason why I would give it to the Buccaneers. Uh, I think Vita Veda is playing this week, which again another run stopper. That's another one of those things which they're gonna have to figure out other ways to get the ball to CMC. You know, I watched Mac Jones in college, and Mac Jones is not a bad dude. When given the opportunity, he will pick you apart because he done showed these the last couple of weeks. But he got happier feet than Jared Goff does, and that's all you really got to do. And the one thing I do know about the Buccaneers, the reason why they've been in these games is because their defense do have the opportunity to put pressure. And what the kid from Ohio State has been doing has been amazing. He's definitely taking advantage of the opportunity that he didn't got since Mike Evans is not playing. So because they're at home, I have to give it to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you for the exact same reasons that you listed. The amount of injuries that the San Francisco 49ers have endured both on the offensive side and on the defensive side to key players. and will continue to suffer from those very same injuries for the remainder of the season. Is eventually going to catch up with them. Attrition is going to overcome them. As good as Matt Jones has performed over the past few weeks, and when given, as you said, over his career, he can't pick you apart. This is a game where you look at the home team's ability to defend home field, all right? And can they make those big plays both on the offensive side and on the defensive side of the ball? And Tampa Bay, yes, can do that in 2025. So for that reason and that reason alone, I agree with you. The offense is flowing very well without Mike Evans. Seems like they've actually hit a different gear, not a better gear, but a different gear, which opens up the offense in a different way. So Tampa Bay is going to be a force not only to, I agree, pick this game, but going into November, going into December, don't be surprised if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 10-2, 11-3 going into the deep stretch of the late season. So we shall see how that works out. Hopefully it does not happen, but we'll see. All right, we can move on to the next game, man. This is another interesting game that on paper you can automatically assume that Josh gonna go down into hot Atlanta and get on the big stage on a Monday night and just do what the MVP is supposed to do, which is to lead his team to victory. But the Atlanta Falcons are the 2025 version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because just like Forrest said, you don't know what you're going to get depending on what day of the
Like
week it is. You
a
know what
box of
I'm saying?
chocolates. They like a box of
They
chocolates.
like a box of chocolates, man. You just don't know what you're going to get. Do you
Uh,
expect Josh and the Buffalo Bills to overrun Atlanta, or do you expect Atlanta to defend this house?
I expect Josh them to win, but I think the game gonna be closer than what we think because again, the Buffalo Bills defense has not been what I consider to be the best. Josh Allen and the offense figure out ways, but that defense has been up against the ropes in almost every game they done played this year. And so if the Falcons figure out a way to put the ball in Bijan's hands more, because I still don't think that they get the ball in Bijan Robinson's hands enough, and London and Pitt show up, it'll be a close game. But I'm gonna have to go with the Doctor Jekyll side, man, because or how whichever one was the sorry side. I'm gonna have to go with that side because I just after that loss to the Panthers. I just can't give them no credibility, and I'm saying that if my team play the Panthers this weekend, they better not lose to them cats. But I
I
get the
feel
Bills to
you,
win
man.
in this game, man.
I feel you. I feel you. But I do remember a reel that I saw with the Roundtable label on it last week when we were talking about the New England Buffalo game, and you specifically honed in that if New England has the shot, it's because of the lack of run defense from the Buffalo Bills. Does Atlanta have a good running back? Yes, they do.
But they got to get the ball to him.
Atlanta's
They
defense is better than we give them credit for, right? That I say it every year. Every team has that one egg game where it just baffles the mind. And that Carolina game for the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, was that early season game for them. Taking
okay.
emotion out of it, the Atlanta Falcons are better than their record has shown thus far this season. And this is their first huge, and I do mean huge, opportunity on the national stage on Monday night to show the world that we are going to be taken for real this year. Am I going to pick them? No. but, but I would not be surprised if they win this game. I would not be surprised if they win this game. Just like the Eagles went 4-0 and then took two L's, it's just as easy for the Buffalo Bills to go 4-0 and then take two L's that they were both favored to win. So I'm going with Buffalo as well, but I would not be surprised if those Falcons sneak this one out at home. Man, this next game is about the future of the National Football League and who is going to be the face, or are we both going to be the face, or neither of us going to be the face of the National Football League. This is round two of the top two quarterbacks that were taken in the 2024 draft. My guy, Jaden Daniels, JD5 out of LSU, who is leading the Washington Commanders to a promising sophomore season if he can stay healthy. Going against the number one drafted quarterback in the 2024 draft class, Caleb Williams, who is still trying to get his footing in Chicago, right? The Bears are traveling to the Commanders' hometown in Landover, Maryland. Can Caleb and the Bears exact a little bit of revenge on those Commanders from last year's Hail Mary miracle against them?
Hey man, they had a good game last year. And you're right, man. The Bears supposed to won that game.
Mhm.
But I truly believe that this Washington Commanders team is different than the team that played against the Bears last year. I see a Washington Commander team that actually look like they on the up, whereas I haven't seen Caleb perform. Honestly, except for against my team, he did. But Caleb still looked confused back there in that spot. He has the offensive weapons to make some stuff happen, but going to Landover, Maryland to play against JD5, when you talk about the comparison of the two quarterbacks, I'm gonna put more of my money or my faith in JD5 than I'm gonna put in Caleb.
Yeah, I agree, and this is going to be the longevity of their careers because I simply believe Jaden Daniels is a more applicable quarterback to any situation that he's placed in. Okay, it is not necessarily about what he is surrounded by as it pertains to the key playmakers, but it is his individual talent that sets him apart from Caleb Williams, and it always will for me. And so, anytime that these two match up, it's going to be an interesting game simply because they're tied at the hip because they come out of the same draft class, drafted one after the other, one winning the Heisman in 24, the other winning the Heisman in 23. So, both of them's credentials are similar,
Yeah,
almost mirror like. But the Commanders this year, just like you mentioned, not only are they similar but different from 2024's team, they have more weapons with the addition of Samuel and how he has been utilized thus far this year, even with the injury
Terry McClure.
to McLaurin. It shows you that when JD5 is healthy and behind a line that is protecting him and has more than one weapon on the outside, he showed you last weekend against the Chargers that he is the capable guy to take you to the promised land. And for that alone, and them being a home team, and they are better than the Chicago Bears, I'm going to go with the Commanders as well. Let us move on to the next game that is on the docket, man.
Yes, sir.
Joe Flacco, the most talked about 42-year-old in the history, no, not
Man,
the history, but the most talked about 42-year-old in 2025, who has been
yeah,
bouncing around the state of Ohio on tour, going from football team to football team to see if he can be the one guy to dismantle the Green Bay Packers twice in the same year for two different teams. But he was traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. We know why, right? My guy, Joe Burrow, took a season ending turf toe injury that required surgery out until the middle of December, at a minimum, 3 months. Followed by Mr. Browning, who everybody in Cincinnati has been comfortable with for years, but he can't
that's a
get
fact.
right. He just throwing interceptions left and right. Like, what is going on? He can't find his stride. So the Bengals go out and get Mr. Flacco. Can Mr. Flacco do it again against the Green Bay Packers, or can the Green Bay Packers fix what they should have taken care of against their last opponent and get back into the winning ways that they want to be?
Man, first of all, Joe Flacco don't have the defense that he had with the Browns and the Bengals.
He
To-
showed up.
Totally different defenses. Then on top of that, that offensive line is still there, the same one that Joe Burrows always get hit. And the reason why Brown is throwing all those interceptions is because of that offensive line that they have yet to fix. So I mean, I ain't gonna. Hey, this is gonna be the Michael Parsons game right here. This is gonna be the game that everybody was looking for Michael Parsons to get loose at Green Bay in this game right here. that defense is about to run wild. I mean, it is what it is. I know you got your boy chasing them over there, but Joe Flacco would not be upright long enough to get the ball to him. That's all I can tell you. I got Green Bay in this one by 2 scores at a minimum.
I got Green Bay in this one by at least 3 scores. I don't even have to provide commentary. This is not going to be. This is going to be ugly, early too.
Troy said you bring a 40-year-old statue to be quarterback behind a line that can't block.
Exactly.
Because that's what it's gonna look like, man. This guy, they better go find Willie Beeman. That's what they better go find, because Flacco ain't got it in him, brother. I mean, he got a Super Bowl on his belt. He was with the right team, but he don't have the defense that he got it. He had at the Browns, and that offensive line is truly bad.
Yeah. This is. I'll be surprised if this is a 2-score game or closer. I expect this to be a blowout. I don't expect any type of offensive efficiency from the Bengals, and they probably should not be able to stop Jordan Love and the Green Bay offense from scoring.
Jordan Love can't keep a team in the game, though. That's that. He can't do that now. We know he can't do that now. That's the only chance that the Bengals got. And Jordan Love give out some Christmas present.
But Matt LaFleur, taking that into consideration, will utilize the run game, knowing that the run game is as effective as the passing game. So we can move on.
Get the ball to Josh Jacobs. Get the ball to Josh Jacobs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we can move on. We're both going to pick the Packers on this one. By
the Rams. I'll let you do the rest of the commentary. The Rams.
So I guess I can have the suspense. No, I'm going to go ahead and set this up to give everybody a reason to have hope for the Baltimore Ravens, because this is make it or break it time, right? We are 1-4. No one in the world believed that we were going to start 1-4, and we have done it to ourselves this entire season. Lamar's injury set aside, the Ravens are in a situation that they're in because it is of their own doing. They shot themselves in the foot each and every game that they have played, and they earned each and every L because of the coaching and because of defensive play during each one of those games. Yes, you have turnovers in the games, and the Baltimore Ravens unfortunately had key turnovers in key moments during those games, which led to those late fourth quarter comebacks that their defense continues to give up year after year after year after year. The offense builds a lead up and the defense washes it away in the past or in the last 10 to 12 minutes of the game. This is nothing new. We've been saying it for years about the Ravens defense. So they're going to lose again to a better Los Angeles Rams team, because we know the Rams are better at this point in the season. Matthew Stafford is going to have a field day, because this is the worst defense in the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. The days of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, T. Sizzle and them are gone. They're dead, son. So Lamar's not playing. And Lamar's not playing. So, man,
You already know, man. Like Harold, you called the man. I have to commend you on it. You did call it. Melissa, I know you're not a Ravens fan because you're a Steelers fan. So Troy asked a question: has this been a bigger disappointment of the Ravens? Has there been a bigger disappointment than the Ravens in recent years? And as I look back, man, I can't really think of a team that I can think of that's been a bigger disappointment than the Ravens here, and the way they didn't play, especially with all the talent.
Right. Looking at our lifetimes, the only thing that comes close, which actually is a more of a disappointment, would be the 91, 92, 93, 94 Buffalo Bills that went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
But they made it there.
They made it, right, with Jim Kelly,
Fred top of the Cowboys.
So hey, they lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Cowboys twice.
No, but Fred said the Cowboys is the biggest. He said disappointment-wise. That's what Fred's talking about. The Cowboys being the biggest disappointment.
No, on the field, it would be the Baltimore Ravens. They are the biggest disappointment because they've had the best team in the National Football League for 3 straight years, and they've pissed it away 3 straight years based on their coaching and decision-making, both on the offensive side in big games and in defense. That's it.
But
They are
they
their
had an
own
MVP.
biggest
But they
problem.
had an MVP. But they had it. See, that's why I don't get caught up in them tight jokes. I'd rather win games than have the MVP. That's all I'm saying.
The
They got
MVP being on the team had nothing to do with it, sir. The
what I'm
MVP
saying
being on
is
the team and leading the team and being an integral part in the success of the team had nothing to do with it. It was, again, the play calling and key turnovers in
yeah.
big games at key moments.
What I'm saying is like when we get into when we had the conversation about Jalen, what make a good quarterback versus a great quarterback or whatever. They
Mhm.
had the MVP guy, but MVP all those titles mean nothing if your team ain't getting over that hump. In my opinion,
I
you know,
got you.
no, I'm not saying it was
I
strictly
got
Lamar because the defense is what's been killing the team.
Now I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say this. Not many people know this, but I'm gonna say this. You said give me the titles over the daggone stats, but for some reason, why don't you like your three-time winning quarterback?
I'm not a Troy Aikman because I just don't like Troy Aikman.
All right, let's move on, man. We both got the Rams in this one. Now, this
Yeah,
one is huge and interesting in a way to where is this the bounce back game for the Seahawks or the Jaguars cement that we are a team to be reckoned with? We still believe that Sam Darnold and Coach McDonald have an offense that can put points on the board against anybody. We saw they put up 35 against Tampa Bay. Got it. Some of it was fluff, but still, this was only their second loss of the season. Can they bounce back and travel down to a 4-1 Duval County Jacksonville Jaguars team that has seemed to found an identity? Trevor Lawrence is playing Trevor Lawrence type of football to where he can flick his hair back and actually legitimize his actions because he's showing up on the field. They are leading their division or tied with the Indianapolis Colts in their division. They are a legitimate 2025 threat for a AFC playoff position. Who wins this one, even though they are playing in Duval County? Can Jacksonville defend this field one more time against these Seahawks, or do they take the Seahawks as bait?
no, Seahawks win this game, man. I ain't sold on Jacksonville. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not sold on them. Oh yeah, you needed that last minute play where Trevor Lawrence fall and all this other stuff. I just ain't. I'm not sold on the team, man. I don't. I still don't see an identity on this squad. I mean, they have some talent, but Trevor Lawrence. I hate to say it. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I picked Sam Darnold over Trevor Lawrence. I think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback and has more talent on that team than Jacksonville does. And I see Seattle at least winning by a touchdown.
At least by a touchdown. Okay, I feel you on that. This will be the first time that we disagree. I'm going to go with the home team on this one, and here's the reason why. Confidence breeds confidence.
Okay.
Confidence breeds confidence. And when you believe that you can thread the needle, you're going to thread the needle because I've done it before against better quality defenses, in my opinion, right? At least against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. So I believe that that coach has maybe just possibly captured a little bit of lightning in a bottle, starting off 4-1, because we cannot forget that that is another rookie head coach and trying to implement his philosophy. Yes, the schedule has worked out a little bit, but we
Yeah.
have showed up on the field and we have performed and we have done what we need to do to just win, baby. So the dub is more important. They're going to defend home field against a very good Seattle team. This is going to be an interesting game, a tight game. Maybe go back and forth, and maybe it shows that the team that has the ball last will actually win this game. But I believe the home field advantage will serve the Jaguars well. Jags win this one.
They better let Hunter play a little bit more offense then, because your boy Brian Thomas Jr. ain't really been doing nothing if you ask me. But that's just my opinion.
He
Roll
said,
Tide. Let's keep it. Hey, I'm just saying, man. But look, I got. Let's keep it moving, man. I want to make sure I get through these before I get up out of here, bro.
I feel you, bro. Now this next one, man, this is a little bit of interesting backyard brawl type of activity. We all know how the AFC North plays each other. They all play each other tough. This is going to be a back and forth game that might end up 10-6. It might end up 12-10. It might end up 3-2. We just never know. You have a rookie quarterback starting for the Cleveland Browns. You have a rookie quarterback who is the backup for the Cleveland Browns. You have a defensive-minded coach in Mike Tomlin. Do you believe Mike Tomlin unleashes the steel hounds on the rookies? Or do you believe that Aaron Rodgers leads a methodically led offense to victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Or can the Browns shock a whole lot of people and get that dub?
Well, I mean, you said it, this is a division game, man, which is like a rivalry game. And I like the Cleveland Browns defense. Jason, Garrett over there. I was finna say Jason Garrett, but Miles Garrett and that squad over there. They showed what they can do, man. But I'm still gonna have to get an edge to the Steelers in this game. 'Cause they playing in Pittsburgh, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, yeah. This is one of them times I do have to go with the home team, man. I think it's gonna be a defensive battle, but I think it's gonna come down to the experience of Aaron Rodgers at the end that win this game.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. The Pittsburgh Steelers simply have too much experience on the offensive side to play keep away from an opportunistic offense for the Cleveland Browns at this point, right? Because they simply don't have enough time and reps with either one of those two quarterbacks to feel confident in opening up the playbook to try to take a whole lot of deep shots against an aggressive Pittsburgh defense that is opportunistic this year. And Aaron Rodgers and that offense has been clicking enough to be good enough to win those games. So Pittsburgh at home should win this game.
Hey, let me answer this question, Troy. It's because it's the Browns. Think about the history of the Browns and all their decision making. So Troy said, how dumb is it to have a rookie as your backup when you have a proven signal caller on the team, which they traded that guy, and Deshaun is getting paid to do nothing. And I wish I was Deshaun Watson right now, but again, just look at the history of the Browns. That says it all as far as how dumb it is. Um, yeah, I just got to get an edge to Pittsburgh because of the experience on the other side of that ball.
Hey, the Browns are the Browns because this is that team that does that type of stuff, and they're gonna do what they do. So,
Yeah.
uh, dog
Oh, that's
pound.
right. They do have Zappy. They got Zappy. I didn't know they had a Zappy over there. Hey, I got to get ready to head up out of here. This should be a easy win for my Cowboys. Uh, that's it. I'm picking the Cowboys. I mean, I like Bryce Young. I want to see the kids succeed, just not against my squad. I expect a heavy dose of running the ball with Javonte Williams and getting Dak keep on spreading the ball around like he been doing.
No, I got you, man, and I agree. I could sit here and talk about what kind of chance the Carolina Panthers have, but this is a game that the Cowboys should win. And if y'all don't, you're gonna get talked about.
I know it. I have my big boy shorts on, man.
I feel
I
you.
have
I know
I
you
got
got
the
to get ready
Cowboys
to
back.
bounce up out of there, so I'll give you a minute to kind of give your last final shout out to the Roundtable audience on this glorious Friday night.
Look, man, as always, man, thank y'all so much for always showing up and supporting me and Drew. Y'all don't have to be here. I know there's so many other things that y'all could be doing, but y'all come here. So I appreciate y'all, Darren. I see you, Troy, Harold, Melissa, Fred, Christian. I see y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, and may the football gods be on your side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now, Alabama by 2 touchdowns against
By
Missouri.
two, by two touchdowns.
By 2 touchdowns.
I don't have to even talk about it.
You don't even have to talk about it. That'll save you some time to talk about other stuff.
They are playing in Missouri, right? In
I
Columbia,
don't care.
Missouri.
Hey, we
Yeah.
can play in Missouri. We can play in St. Louis. We can play in Fort Leonard Wood. It don't make a difference where in Missouri we play. It's still Alabama by 2 touchdowns.
Alabama by two touchdowns. All right.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
All right. Well, I mean that does wrap up the NFL portion of the show, at least for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Griff does have to bounce. You know, thank you for your commentary on this blessed evening, bro. Enjoy the festivities. Enjoy your evening. Safe travels back to the humble abode, and we'll holler at you when we holler at you. Up next is the favorite time of every Friday night show, right? So we're gonna take a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna co-host with everybody in the chat. So obviously, with what you don't disagree or you don't agree with what I'm saying about each one of these upcoming games, provide your commentary, and then I'm gonna provide my 2 cents feedback. Obviously, I said at the very top of the show that my upset of the NFL week was the Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. Even though that they're playing in Kansas City, the Detroit Lions should win that game. And Griff's upset of the week would be if the Carolina Panthers were to beat his Dallas Cowboys. It would be very surprising to a whole lot of people, not only disappointing to him and the Cowboys fans, which actually will kind of weigh itself out because, many Cowboys non-fans would only take a little bit of enjoyment in that L. So those are the 2 upsets of the week. All right, now let us move on to the college football games, man. Alabama, Griff already gave his pick against Missouri, traveling into Columbia. Missouri is the 14th ranked team in the nation right now. They are heading into the grinder of their schedule as well, and Alabama is just the biggest team on their schedule this weekend. Can Alabama go into Columbia and knock off a 14th ranked team who they should look better than? I believe Griff is right. I'm going to go with him. Troy said go Missouri. It ain't going to happen. Alabama is actually starting to become one of those teams that you have to take serious. So I can't sit here and take jabs at them unless they showed this weekend that they trip up. But we believe Alabama's going to win, man. Now, this is for the first time this year that I'm actually going to pay attention to a Big Ten game. I got it, the Penn State-Oregon game earlier this year was broadcast to be the biggest Big Ten game of the year thus far. Yes, because of the rankings, but we kind of figured going in that Penn State can't win that big one. Now, Indiana, on the other hand, they've shown in the past couple of years that they are onto something and that they can compete with any team in the country and of course, within their conference. This is going to be a very close game. It is being played in Eugene, right? So Oregon's at home. They are the better team on paper because they've had that big game. But we've seen over the past couple of years that Indiana is not afraid of any team, especially within the Big Ten. We're going to get to that Drew's Corner later on, Troy, in a minute. But can Indiana go into Eugene and upset Oregon? I believe they can. Everybody in the chat said y'all got Oregon on a close one. On this one, it's going to be close. It's going to be a good one. I think it's one of those games where the last team with the ball wins this game, and you trust in the home team to be able to do that. And Oregon has one of those teams that they can score quickly. For that reason, I'm going to go with Oregon along with y'all. I would not be surprised if Indiana upsets them, though. I would not be surprised. Be on the lookout for Indiana possibly sneakily winning the Big Ten this year. We just might see something interesting coming out of Hoosierville. All right, now, the game that will decide the 2025 season for the Texas Hook'em Horns Longhorns. This is their rivalry game of the year. The Red River Shootout, or rivalry between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. Historically, no matter the rankings, anything can happen. Anything usually does happen. You could have a last-second, breathtaking big play to end the game or win the game for one team, or you could have a blowout. As we've seen in the past 5-10 years, you've had both. And just because Oklahoma is coming into this game hot, one of the top-ranked teams in the country right now, and Texas has faltered here recently, losing to Florida last weekend and not really having a resume this year that legitimately provided that number 9 ranking that they had until last weekend. This is a rivalry game, as Griff would say, where records be damned. So does Texas have a shot? Does Mike's team have a shot? Does everybody's favorite team out of Austin have a shot? Or will Boomer Sooner roll through and just break Debo's horns right off of his head? That is the question. What y'all think? Troy said poor Texas. Okay, Oklahoma. I don't know if it's the quarterback from Oklahoma's injury is going to keep him out. I have not gotten the latest report as of a couple of hours ago, but yeah, I guess that is going to take a play a big role into it. So we'll see, but I'm still going to Oklahoma to win this one and to officially end Texas' chances of being in the college football playoffs in 2025 and relegate them to an early or mid-December bowl. Now, my game of the night. Oh, my LSU Tigers are welcoming in Troy, South Carolina Gamecocks into Tiger Stadium tomorrow night at 7:30. 7:45 is kickoff time. 7:45 is kickoff time. LSU is favored to win this game at home. And on paper, they seem to be the better team. But last week, I provided the commentary that they were the worst 4-1 team in the country right now, simply because of the vanilla offense that they have been running against their opponents. And the only time that they really had a lot of offensive success was against the Southeastern Louisiana team that they played several weeks ago. The rest of their games, I got it, they've been competitive, but their recent loss to Ole Miss kind of exposed them to having a less Miles resembling offense where you have capable playmakers on the field, but you're not utilizing them in such a fashion to where they can be effective. Now, how does this translate into the game tomorrow night? It depends on your quarterback, Troy. Can Mr. Sellers show out? Is he playing? Is he 100% healthy? Because LSU has a problem historically playing against dual threat quarterbacks who not only have the ability to beat you from the pocket, but from get outside of the pocket and utilize his legs in a fashion or in a way to where it not only generates first downs, but it continues drives and it eventually leads to touchdowns. So it depends on how much pressure they can apply on Sellers. I'm talking about the defense. And whether or not Sellers is able to escape the pocket. If Sellers is consistently able to escape the pocket, then South Carolina not only has a chance to win, but could possibly go into Death Valley and do something that very rarely happens and steal a dub. But of course, that's not going to happen because LSU is a far better team, more talented, and these past 2 weeks, they had better fix what has ailed them. And both on the offensive side and on the aggressiveness side of the defense. You have playmakers on defense too. Utilize them. LSU wins a very, very good game that is going to go into the fourth quarter very tight. And it's going to end up being a one-score game between these two. More like 27-24 or 27-23 type game. And it's going to be exciting, but go Tigers. That's for you, Troy. Now, I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about football in a larger sense. Since this is a sports talk show that focuses on college football and professional football, over the past 4 or 5 years, society has dictated that the sport of football get involved in cultural activities, cultural events, right? We've all seen the signs in the end zones of the NFL in racism. We've all seen college football teams displaying signs of unity, equality all across the board. And I'm bringing this up specifically about my LSU Tigers, right? A team that I have enjoyed watching, supported, loved, and lived and died with every Saturday in the fall for the past 45 plus years. And being a son of the state of Louisiana, born and raised, family going back all the way to the early 1700s, I'm invested in the success of this institution, this school, and the sport that they play every single Saturday in August. And LSU has been that bastion of hope when it comes to sports for many kids in not only the state of Louisiana, but part of the Southeast, part of the Southeastern Conference, and across the nation for many, many decades in the past. But we have to understand that just being the guy on Saturday does not wipe away the 6 other days that this young person is living his life. And the amount of support that we all show our football players, our sports players, especially in college, regardless of the sport, and the love and adoration that we throw upon them while they are executing their skill is great and wonderful. And that's why I love the sport so passionately. But at the same time, we have to understand that these young people are young people living a life. And they are figuring it out just like the rest of us are figuring it out, because none of us have all of the answers. None of us are better than anybody else. None of us can pass judgment on anybody else because we have our own individual flaws. But Louisiana, as a state, has historically, trust me, I know, lived experience, learned about it, saw it firsthand, historically applied race when it comes to going after and targeting certain people. And Kyron Lacey, a young man who was filled with life, getting ready to live out the dream that he had dreamed since he was 4, 5, 6 years old, and enter a rare air type of atmosphere as an NFL player after having a successful career at LSU, at UL Lafayette, a high school career in Thibodaux, Louisiana, a child born and raised in Thibodaux, Louisiana. So he was of that community. The way that the Louisiana public justice system targeted this young man and intentionally sought to not only destroy his NFL career, but destroy his life, and are still to this day trying to defend their stance, is one, irrehensible, two, diabolical, three, continues to show that this state has been steeped in racism for hundreds of years. And no matter how much fanfare you have as a student athlete, you're still something that can be discarded. He was an integral part of LSU's success, both with Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier in the past couple of years, right? LSU's football team generated $107 million in 2024. $107 million in 2024 in 6 home games. That's just from ticket sales, activities on the day of the game. We're not talking about paraphernalia. We're not talking about concerts maybe related to games. We're not talking about endorsements. We're not talking about all of that additional stuff. I'm just talking about game sales and game day activities. $107 million and 105 in the previous year. I would think that as an institution, that the amount of success that this young man contributed to your university, you would have taken a bigger stance in defending his name prior to him eventually unaliving himself in April. And even to this day, And this is why I really wanted to talk about this issue. Coach Brian Kelly gets paid $10.1 million a year. And I'm not even talking about his coaching skills. I'm not talking about that. But as a leader of these young men, you are an utter failure. Utter failure. From the very beginning, you kept close-lipped. You had nothing to say in the defense of this young man. LSU did not bring you into their university to be the highest paid public servant in the state for you to be a daggone coach on Saturday nights. They brought you there to be a leader, a mentor, generate young men that can go out in society and be productive. But if you won't stand up for them, I, as a parent, would not want my child going to LSU if he has any type of talent and wants visibility. Not while this man is your coach. He is pitiful. That is a $10.1 million wasted investment, in my opinion. And this is my opinion. But you are pitiful as a leader. I can say that because I served over 32 years in the United States Army with tens of thousands of America's sons and daughters. I had the privilege and honor of leading many of them for well over 29 of those 32 plus years. So I know what a leader looks like. And sir, you are not one. The way that you have completely closed your eyes and say, well, hands off, I'm not going to even talk to my team about how Kyron Lacy was innocent, falsely accused by a corrupt Louisiana State Police system, a Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office that ultimately backed him into a corner and he saw no way out. I would not want my child going to Louisiana State University, not while Brian Kelly's the coach. Nope. And I love my team, but I would not. I cannot wait to get rid of this guy. Because he is not the one for Louisiana State University Tigers, I'm telling you. You've shown your true character, guy. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. I just had to get that off of my chest. I am continuing to pray for not only Kyron Lacy's mother, family, loved ones, but for the hundreds of thousands of people in this country who are enduring very, very, very tough situations. We all know what the atmosphere is in the country right now. No matter where you are, you've felt the strain. No matter your situation, you've felt the strain. And all I can say is that continue to love your neighbor like you love yourself and be kind to people because at some point we are going to need that helping hand. All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox. I appreciate y'all joining us all on this Friday night. We're looking forward to some great games this weekend. Hopefully your team does win, even if they are the South Carolina game clocks, Troy. Even if they are the Dallas Cowboys, Griff. Hopefully your team does well. And I know I did not mention, but my Hooters going to get that second dub this weekend against them Pats. Y'all continue to stay safe, man. Y'all take care of each other. Do something nice for yourselves. Do something nice for your family. Take care of your family. And if given, please do something nice for someone that you may not even know because it just might be the best thing that happens to them on that particular day. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be breezy.